things about being a photographer or videographer is when you travel, trying to figure out what you want to take and more importantly, what you want to put that stuff in can be quite challenging. So I recently took a trip to Chicago to meet up with T-Mid and SJ just to do some content creation and to get the gang back together. And shortly before I left for that trip, K&F Concept sent me this backpack to try out. Now, K&F Concept has been a long time supporter of this channel. So I appreciate him sending me this bag to test out during my trip to Chicago. Now, if you follow my channel, you would know that I've never did a what's in my camera bag video because I don't keep things in a bag. My kit changes all the time, so it really depends on what I have going on, what the shoot is. The stuff in it constantly changes, so I don't really have a bag per se that I could just be like, yeah, this is what's in my bag. So this is their beta backpack. So this would be, it's a 20-liter pack. And this would kind of fit into the category of an everyday carry bag. Now I got it in black. I do believe it comes in some other colors, but I just like the classic black when it comes to backpacks. Doesn't really draw that much attention, so that's what I like. Now, number one, size-wise, this was the perfect size for the trip, because I didn't want to take my bigger backpacks because I really wanted to have a smaller kit. I knew that we were going to be on the go a lot and we were going to be going to a lot of different spots. So I wasn't really trying to haul around a ton of gear. So I wanted something that would be small, but yet big enough and comfortable enough to be able to fit everything I would need. Looking at the front of the bag, the first part that I really like is this little protection piece right here. So these parts right here, they just hook in on that part right there. And then it's just a flap that essentially just covers the zipper part. So number one, I think it looks really good. I like the design of it. I like this silver accent on these clips. It's really nice contrast to the black bag. But I like having something there to cover that up. So that's nice. And then you also have on the front of it here a place to put a tripod. Now I did not use this on the trip at all because I don't typically carry tripods around too much, so I didn't use it, but you could definitely fit a tripod right there. And then there's this front pocket here that you could put some things into right there. Let me talk about this part here. You've got space for a laptop, which I definitely had a laptop in there because of course I'm going to travel with the laptop. I believe it can fit up to a 15-inch. I don't know if the 16-inch M1s would fit. I should probably try that out to see. You could probably squeeze it in there because this is a pretty big opening. So you probably could get a 16-inch in there. But what I would like better is for the laptop sleeve to be outside of the bag. Now, the reason why I say that is because when you have the bag closed up and you got these here, you can't get to the laptop without opening the flap. So it would be nice to have like a slot in the back where you could just slip the laptop in, so then that way you don't have to open up the bag. So I love their dividers. They're very thin. They have like these notches so that way they can fold. I mean, as you can see, I have this one here in a circular shape. So these are great. The padding, I mean, it's very firm. I love them. To run through real quick how I had this set up in Chicago. I had my 5D4, my Canon 5D Mark IV right here. I had my EOS R right here. I had the 135 f2 here, had an 85 here, and I had a 35 here. So that was the kit that I had. 2 camera bodies, and then a 35, an 85, and a 135. And that's a kit that I use quite often because if I don't want to use zooms, that gives me the range that I need. 35 on the wide, 85 for the medium telephoto, 135 for the longer telephoto. I actually don't think I used the 135 the entire trip though. So I only use the 35 and the 85. And then in these side pockets here, I basically just had some accessory things. So a charger, lights, anchor batteries for being on the go to be able to charge things up, cables, all of that sort of stuff was in these two pockets here. Now up here, you have like some sleeves to be able to put some things into. I didn't use them at all because I didn't have anything to put in there. So, I'm not gonna just use it just for the sake of using it, but they do have these things that you can kind of slide things into. Now you may notice here on the side of the bag, there's this zipper right here. And if I open that up, as you can see, it provides access to the bag, right? So here's my hand goes through. So the point of this part here is to be able to grab your camera out of there. So you can have it set up so you can pull your camera out. Now that's a great concept and it likely would work very well. The problem, and the reason why I don't have mine set up that way, is that you're limited in how you can set the bag up when you use that. Because this piece here, there's no thing to attach anything to, so you can't put anything there. So to be able to have this open and to have a camera here, you basically have to have your camera right here in the center. And then there's a lot of space where it's hard to configure it to get everything that you need to get in it. So I think that this would work really well if I was just like local and I was just going somewhere and I just had one camera and a lens or two, it would be perfect. But for travel, not so much. So I didn't have it set up that way. And it really wasn't a problem because I wasn't doing anything to where I needed to like grab my camera real quick. Like it was more so we drive somewhere, we walk to a location, we're doing stuff, we pack up, we go back to the car. So I didn't really need that. It's a nice feature, but I don't think that it's as practical as you may need it to be if you need to fit a lot of gear in the bag. And then up top here is a big pouch, a very large pouch up here. In this, I had my gimbal, my Ninja, things like that. There was a couple other things. I don't remember everything that was up there, but you also could just have like some clothes up there, some food. It's a big size pouch size. I keep saying pouch. It's not a pouch. It's a big size compartment to be able to put a ton of different stuff. So it worked out really well. Had the gimbal, all of those things in there, 2 camera bodies, 3 lenses, all the stuff here. Laptop was here. And then on the side, you've got a pouch that I think I had some bigger battery packs in there. And then on the back, you got the strap here to be able to put it over a luggage handle. The straps on this, very comfortable, okay? This bag weighed in at almost 30 pounds. And that is what I was carrying around for the entire 5 days that I was in Chicago. We did a lot of walking around, a lot of moving, and this thing was on my back. It was a non-issue the entire trip. There was no point where I was just like, I don't want this bag on my back. It was very comfortable. And I think the size of the backpack, at least for me and my frame, it just fit beautifully. So I had no issues. The handle here to be able to carry the bag is very useful. So all in all, I love this backpack. I would buy this backpack. If I were to use this and I had to send it back, I would buy the backpack because it did everything that I needed it to do. Now, of course, there is no such thing as a perfect backpack. If you are any type of content creator and you've used backpacks and you own backpacks, you know that for whatever reason, there probably will never be a backpack that is perfect unless you could design one yourself. But this comes pretty close to it for me.